The room hums with hushed whispers and the clink of teacups, but the tension is anything but polite. A dozen pairs of eyes fixate on a single chair. Empty, until now. She enters quietly, unnoticed at first, until the murmur stops. The woman, in the worn wool coat, hesitates at the threshold, her fingers brushing the doorframe as if bracing for impact. Across the polished mahogany table, a man in a tailored suit leans back, smirking. "Ah, her," he mutters, loud enough to ripple. Through the room, no one stands. No one greets her. She takes the only available seat, the one pushed slightly apart from the others, as though an invisible boundary separates her from the rest. A woman in a fur-lined scarf leans toward her neighbor, voice low but sharp. "Did they even invite her?" The neighbor doesn't answer, but her raised eyebrows speak volumes. The lawyer clears his throat, shuffling papers. The crowd leans forward, eager as he begins. "As per the late Mr. Logan Hartwell's final wishes, we are gathered to—" "Excuse me," interrupts the man in the suit, pointing at the woman in the coat. "Is there a reason she's here? We're all aware this isn't her kind of circle." A few chuckles ripple out, brittle and rehearsed. The woman doesn't flinch. She doesn't look up. Her gloved hands rest in her lap, motionless. Someone else pipes up, younger, smug. "Maybe she's here for the snacks. Or did she mistake this for a soup kitchen?" The room erupts in laughter, but it's hollow, performative. The lawyer pauses, glancing at her. "Ms. Ivy, I'm here for the reading," she says simply. Her voice is steady, unadorned, but it cuts through the noise like a blade. The room falls silent again. The man in the suit scoffs. "Right. Because you had some history with Logan, I suppose." His words drip with mockery. She doesn't answer, doesn't blink. The lawyer clears his throat again, louder this time. "If we could all just—" But no one's listening. The room has turned its gaze back to her, dissecting her threadbare coat, her plain boots, the way she sits too still, too quiet, as if carved from the very air they're trying to suffocate her with. Who was she to them? A ghost? A joke? And why, when the lawyer finally opens the will, does her name come first? She sits like a statue in a room of shifting shadows. Around her, silk scarves rustle, cufflinks glint, and manicured hands gesture with practiced ease. But Ivy, her name spoken only once and then with a sneer, remains untouched by the noise. Her coat, frayed at the cuffs, swallows her frame, like armor. A woman in a pearl choker leans toward her companion, lips barely moving. Who even is she? Logan wouldn't have let her in the front door. The companion's smile tightens, a flicker of agreement buried beneath years of social training. The lawyer's voice drones on, reciting clauses about estates and trusts. But the room has stopped listening. All eyes linger on Ivy, dissecting her like a puzzle they're certain they've already solved. A man with a gold watch snorts into his tea. Bet she's got some story about helping Logan fix his car or something. Real rags to riches nonsense. His laughter spreads, brittle and sharp. Ivy doesn't blink, doesn't shift. Her gaze stays fixed on the lawyer's hands, steady as he flips pages. When someone flicks a napkin in her direction, charity case, scribbled in smudged ink, she doesn't flinch. The napkin lands on her lap, a taunt she refuses to acknowledge. Outside the window, dusk settles. The chandelier above hums faintly, its light catching the edge of a security camera in the corner. Ivy's eyes flicker toward it, just once. A muscle in her jaw tightens. The lawyer pauses, adjusting his glasses. "There is one final provision," he says, voice careful. "A letter from Mr. Hartwell himself. It reads, 'To those who think they know me, prove it. To the one who knows me best, this is yours.'" A beat of silence. The man in the suit barks a laugh. "What? Is she supposed to be the mystery one? He gestures at Ivy, half amused, half menacing. Did you two share a bunk bed? In a shelter or something? The room erupts in laughter. Ivy exhales slowly, the sound lost beneath the noise. Her fingers brush the napkin on her lap, smoothing its creases. For the first time, her eyes lift, past the smirking faces, past the polished table, to the camera in the corner. She holds its gaze, unblinking, as if she's waiting for someone to see her, as if she already knows they will. The laughter doesn't die. It festers, grows teeth. A woman in a sequined blouse whips out her phone, thumb hovering over the camera icon. "Wait," she says, voice sing-songing with mock revelation. "We should document this. You know, for the family archives." Her screen flashes, capturing Ivy's profile. Still unyielding, a figure carved from the weight of their scorn. A younger man leans forward, grinning. "Make it a meme. Charity case at the will reading." He mimes typing. Top caption, "When your entire personality is free food." The table erupts again, but this time, the laughter is sharper, hungrier. Phones multiply like weeds. Screens glowing, recording, live streaming, tagging. Somewhere beyond the room, the video begins to spread. Ivy's fingers tighten around the napkin in her lap. She doesn't look at the cameras, doesn't react when the man in the suit snatches her teacup, holding it aloft like a trophy. "Bet she's never had real china before," he sneers, inspecting the delicate porcelain before setting it down with a clack. "Would have pawned it for bread, right?" More chuckles, a chorus now. Someone dabs at their eyes, feigning tears. "Oh, the tragedy of it all." The lawyer shifts uncomfortably, his voice strained. "Perhaps we should refocus." Right, interrupts the sequined blouse woman, not glancing at him. She angles her phone toward Ivy, zooming in. On the frayed cuffs of her coat, the scuffed toe of her boot. "Hey," she coos, saccharine. "You gonna sue us for emotional damages? Demand a share of the estate for all the hardship you've endured?" Her laugh is a blade. "Or is that too subtle for your soup kitchen diplomacy?" A new voice cuts through, the youngest man at the table, barely 30, smirking as he scrolls his phone. "Oh, this is gold," he says, not bothering to hide his screen. "Comments are blowing up. Who's the ghost of Christmas past? Did she crawl out of a dumpster?" He snorts. "Someone's even selling t-shirts with your face on them." "Charity case." He mimics a logo. "Want one?" The room dissolves into chaos. A woman in a fur vest snaps a selfie with Ivy in the background, flashing a peace sign. A man near the window live streams, narrating in a faux serious tone. And here we witness the rare urban legend, the woman who thinks money grows on trees. His audience balloons by the second, strangers feeding on the spectacle. Ivy exhales slowly, the sound swallowed by the noise. Her eyes drift to the security camera again. A beat. Then quietly she folds the napkin, charity case, now crisp and neat, and places it beside her plate. Her hands rest, still as stone. The lawyer clears his throat, louder this time. "If we could proceed—" "Wait," says the sequined blouse woman, leaning forward. "What's she doing?" All heads swivel. Ivy hasn't moved, not really, but her gaze has settled on the man in the suit, the one who mocked her first. She holds his stare unblinking until he fidgets, the smirk slipping. "You nervous?" she asks, soft as dust. His laugh is too loud. "What? No." "Good." She glances at the camera again. "Wouldn't want you thinking I'm recording this for posterity." For a heartbeat, the room stills. Then the laughter returns, but thinner now, uncertain. The phones waver. The lawyer seizes the pause. Moving to the final clause, he announces, voice firm. The letter continues. "To those who doubted, prove your worth. To the one who stood alone, everything." Silence pools. The man in the suit tightens his grip on his teacup. The sequined blouse woman drops her phone to her lap. Ivy smiles. Just once. Just enough. As if she's already seen the ending. The lawyer adjusts his glasses, fingers tapping the document. Silence clings to the room now, brittle and expectant. Ivy's gaze remains steady, unbroken by the weight of the stares drilling into her. He clears his throat. Section 12. Final. Testamentary directive. His voice sharpens, official. To Ivy Hartwell, my wife, my equal, my everything, I leave the entirety of my estate, including all real property, financial holdings, and personal effects. A beat. Then the room explodes. What? The man in the suit jerks upright, teacup clattering against the saucer. No way! The sequined blouse woman narrows her eyes at the lawyer. You're joking! A woman in pearls gasps. She's not. Logan wouldn't. Ivy finally speaks, quiet but absolute. Actually, I am. The lawyer lifts a hand. Ms. Ivy Hartwell, formerly Ivy Whitaker, married Logan Hartwell in a private ceremony on October 12th, 2 years ago. The marriage license, signed by both parties, is attached as Exhibit A. He slides a document across the table. No one touches it. The suit man slams his palm down. Bullshit! Logan would have told us! The lawyer doesn't flinch. Mr. Hartwell requested discretion. The officiant, Reverend Marcus Bell, and 2 witnesses, his personal driver and housekeeper, are available for testimony. He pauses. Would you like me to call them in? A heavy silence. The sequined blouse. Woman scrolls her phone, face paling. Oh God, she mutters. The video. Ivy tilts her head. The one where he says, if you're watching this, it means you chose to doubt her. She lets the words hang. Go ahead, play it. The room shrinks inward. The man in the suit leans forward, voice low and venomous. This is a scam. You faked that marriage. The lawyer interrupts. DNA results from a joint medical visit confirm a familial match. Blood, not convenience. He slides another paper forward. And the security footage from the courthouse. Timestamped the day after the wedding shows both parties exiting together. Smiling, Ivy allows herself a small smile. You see, we didn't need your approval. We just needed to love each other. The pearls woman stands abruptly, chair screeching. This is insane. Logan wouldn't he? Ivy's voice hardens. He loved me enough to give me his name, his home, his life. She leans forward, palms flat on the table. But you wouldn't know anything about love, would you? Just power. The suit man's face flushes crimson. You think? This changes anything? We'll fight this! You're a nobody! The lawyer clears his throat again. The documents have been notarized. The probate court has already validated the claim. He glances at Ivy. Ms. Hartwell, the estate is officially yours. The room fractures. Chairs scrape. Phones buzz. The sequined blouse woman whispers, Oh my God, the Jabot feed is still on! As someone scrambles to shut it off. The man in the suit mutters curses under his breath, fists clenched. Ivy stands slowly, smoothing her coat. Her eyes sweep. The table, landing on the napkin labeled charity case. She picks it up, holds it between 2 fingers like a relic. Funny, she says. I was wondering who'd written this. No one answers. She tucks the napkin into her pocket. You spent so long trying to humiliate me. Never thought to ask why I was here. The lawyer hesitates. There's one more thing. He turns to a sealed envelope, hands it to Ivy. A final letter. For you. She opens it, reads silently. Her breath catches once, then steadies. When she looks up, her eyes are brighter, sharper. Logan said something. She murmurs, not to them, to herself. To the ghost of a man who trusted her enough to let the world burn before doubting her. The room watches helpless as Ivy Hartwell, the woman they mocked, memed, and minimized, folds the letter with deliberate care and smiles as if the best is yet to come. The lawyer's hand hovers over a thick envelope on the table. Ivy watches him, fingers still curled around the napkin in her pocket. The room is silent now, but not the quiet of reverence. It's the breathless pause before a storm. He slides the envelope toward her. "This was part of the sealed directive," he says. "A final message from Mr. Hartwell." Ivy doesn't open it. Not yet. Instead, she turns to the man in the suit, who's still gripping the edge of the table like it might anchor him to reality. "You want proof?" she asks. "Let's start with the basics," the lawyer nods. With a rustle of paper, he unfurls a stack of documents, a marriage license signed by Logan and Ivy, dated 2 years prior, a photo of them at a courthouse steps, Ivy in a simple gray dress, Logan grinning beside her, his hand resting on the small of her back, the officiant's signature, the witnesses' names, all pristine, unassailable. The sequined blouse woman leans forward, scanning the pages. Her voice cracks. This could have been forged." The lawyer doesn't blink. The signatures were verified by 3 independent experts. The officiant, Reverend Bell, is available for deposition, as are the witnesses. He pauses, letting the weight settle. And then there's the video. A projector hums to life in the corner of the room. The screen flickers, then fills with grainy footage. Ivy recognizes the scene instantly. Logan's private study, the same room where they'd sat late into the night, debating books and art and the quiet cruelty of the world. Logan appears on screen, alive. His face is younger, but his eyes are the same, sharp, warm, knowing. He leans forward, addressing the camera with a calm that slices through the present-day chaos. "If you're watching this, it means you chose to doubt her." The words hang in the air. The man in the suit flinches. Logan continues, voice steady. "Ivy is my wife. Not out of convenience, not out of obligation, out of choice. She's the only person who ever loved me without wanting something in return. If you're here, laughing at her, dismissing her, you've already failed the test." The screen shifts. Another clip. Ivy and Logan in a candlelit kitchen, laughing over burnt pasta. Then a hospital hallway, Ivy gripping his hand after surgery. Then a quiet moment in a park, her head on his shoulder. The room begins to fracture. The sequined blouse woman drops her phone. The pearls woman whispers, "No, no, no." Ivy finally speaks, soft but cutting. "You thought I was a charity case?" She lets the words linger. "But Logan knew what kind of people you were. That's why he kept us quiet." The man in the suit slams his fist down. "This is manipulation! He was vulnerable! You used him!" The lawyer interrupts, voice glacial. "Would you like to see the security footage from the day of the wedding? Or perhaps the bank records showing joint accounts opened 6 months prior?" He slides another document forward. The psychiatric evaluation commissioned by Mr. Hartwell, himself confirming his mental capacity at the time of the marriage? Silence. The youngest man, the one who live-streamed the mockery, stares at his darkened phone screen. "The comments," he mutters. "They're turning on us." Ivy tilts her head. "You shouldn't have laughed so loudly." The lawyer turns back to the projector. There's one more clip. The screen changes again. This time it's Ivy herself, sitting in this very room hours earlier before the will reading began. The camera pans to the corner, to the security camera she'd glanced at twice. On screen, she meets its lens deliberately, then smiles. The room erupts. "She knew!" someone gasps. "She planned this!" Ivy finally opens the letter in her hands. The paper crackles as she smooths it. Logan's handwriting fills the page, familiar and aching. "To my Ivy, when they try to erase you, prove them wrong. When they think they've won, show them the truth. You don't need their approval. You never did." She inhales sharply, folding the letter with care. When she looks up, her eyes are dry but fierce. You spent all this time trying to humiliate me, she says. Never thought to ask why I wasn't afraid. The man in the suit stands abruptly, chair screeching. This isn't over, Ivy smiles. Cold, final. Oh, she says. It's just beginning. The projector screen flickers. A final time. The room's murmurs die. A new image fills the screen. Not a video, not a memory, a live feed. Logan. Hartwell sits in a sleek sunlit study, crisp white shirt unbuttoned at the collar, eyes alive with quiet fire. He leans forward, hands clasped, and speaks directly into the camera. You're probably wondering if I'm really here. His gaze sweeps the room, landing on Ivy. A smile tugs at his lips. I am. And I've been watching every second. Chaos erupts. The man in the suit stumbles back, knocking over his chair. This is a trick, a deep fake, some stunt. The sequined blouse woman scrambles for her phone, thumb hovering over record. Is this real? She whispers to no one. Logan doesn't blink. Ivy and I planned this together, he says, voice calm but sharp as glass. Because I wanted to know who truly cared, and who only cared about my money. Ivy exhales, slow and steady, the weight of 2 years lifting. She steps forward, hands clasped behind her back like a general surveying the battlefield. You thought I was just the widow, she says. But I'm the one who made this possible. The Pearls woman clutches her throat. You faked his death? Logan answers, but his words are for Ivy. She's the one who suggested it. Said the truth wouldn't matter unless we forced you to see yourselves. His eyes harden. And you didn't disappoint. The room fractures further. The youngest man stares at his phone, face pale. The Jibo feed. Everyone saw us laughing at her. They're ripping us apart online. The man in the suit whirls on Ivy. You set us up. Ivy tilts her head. You did that yourself. She gestures to the screen. We just gave you enough rope. The lawyer clears his throat, holding up a fresh document. The estate transfer was expedited under Mr. Hartwell's directive. The funds have already been moved. The properties reassigned. The beneficiaries... He pauses, letting the word hang. Have changed. A beat. Logan's voice cuts through. None of you get a cent. The words land like a bomb. The sequined blouse woman staggers back. No, that's not fair. We're family. Logan's laugh is cold. Family doesn't humiliate the people I love. Family doesn't turn a woman's grief into a joke. His eyes narrow. You proved who you are. Now live with it. The Pearls woman steps forward, trembling. Logan, please. You've made your point. Let us apologize. We'll make it right. Ivy's voice is steel. Too late. You had your chance, the lawyer interrupts, tone final. There's one more thing. He walks to the projector, clicking a button. The screen shifts to a list of names. These individuals, Logan says, are barred from any future dealings with my assets. Legal action will follow for those who attempted to discredit my wife. He pauses. Including defamation lawsuits, publicly filed. The man in the suit pales. You can't do this. Ivy smiles. He can, and he will. The youngest man slumps into his chair. My followers are gone. They're calling me a parasite online. Logan's voice softens, but not with mercy. You wanted an audience. Now you've got one. Silence falls. Heavy. Final. Ivy turns to the lawyer. Is there anything else? He nods. One final clause. He reads aloud. To those who stood by Ivy without judgment, staff, friends, strangers, thank you. You'll be compensated. The rest, vanish. The room empties quickly. Chairs scrape, footsteps echo, doors slam. When only Ivy and the lawyer remain, the screen flickers again. Logan's face fills the frame, softer now. "You were incredible," he murmurs. She smiles, the first real one in years. "We did it. We always would." The screen goes dark. The room, for the first time, is quiet. And this time, it's not the silence of shame. It's peace. The lawyer steps forward, holding a second document. His voice is clear, unyielding. "As per Mr. Hartwell's directive, the following individuals are hereby barred from the estate and subject to legal action." He begins reading names. Ethan Carlisle. The man in the suit freezes mid-step, his hand on the door handle. "For defamation, harassment, and unauthorized use of private property." Ethan's face flushes crimson. "You can't do this. I'm a partner in his firm." The lawyer doesn't look up. "Effective immediately. You are no longer affiliated with Hartwell Holdings. Your access to company assets has been revoked." Ethan stumbles back, muttering curses under his breath. His phone buzzes, a flood of messages. He reads one, pales, and shoves the device into his pocket. Miranda Cross. The sequined blouse woman stiffens. "For public humiliation, invasion of privacy, and misuse of live streaming platforms." Miranda's fingers fly to her throat. "What does that mean?" The lawyer's gaze narrows. "Your social media accounts have been suspended. The footage you recorded has been flagged for removal. Additionally, you are being sued for damages related to the viral spread of defamatory content." Her knees buckle. She sinks into a chair. "My brand, my followers, will no longer associate with someone who mocked a grieving widow," Ivy finishes coolly. "You made a spectacle of me. Now the world watches you fall." Carla Whitmore. The Pearls woman flinches. "For spreading false claims about the validity of the marriage and inciting mob mentality." Carla clutches her necklace, fingers trembling. "This is absurd. I was just voicing concerns." "You called me a fraud," Ivy interrupts. "A parasite, a liar, and you did it loudly enough to be heard." She gestures to the lawyer. "She's also been removed from the Hartwell Foundation's board, effective immediately." Carla's mouth opens, but no words come. The pearls slip from her grip, scattering across the floor like shattered pride. Derek Lynn. The youngest man, live streamer, meme maker, jumps as his name echoes. For digital exploitation, unauthorized recording, and profiting from humiliation. Derek stares at his darkened phone screen. "My sponsors pulled out," he whispers. "They're calling me a toxic influencer." The lawyer nods. "Your monetization has been terminated. Your content will be scrubbed from all platforms within 48 hours. Derek slumps. "I'm ruined." Ivy's voice is quiet but sharp. "You ruined yourself the moment you thought hurting me would make you important." The room empties fast. Chairs scrape, footsteps scramble, doors slam. Security arrives, silent, efficient, escorting the named individuals out. Ethan goes last, pausing in the doorway to glare at Ivy. "This isn't over," he growls. Ivy steps, closer, unflinching. "It is, and next time you see my name, it'll be attached to a lawsuit." He leaves. When the last of them vanish, the lawyer turns to Ivy. The rest of the list has been sent to their attorneys. Public statements will follow. She nods. "Good." A new voice cuts through the silence, Logan's, from the projector screen. "You handled them well." Ivy glances at the screen, smiling faintly. "They brought this on themselves." The lawyer hesitates. "There's one more thing." He hands her a folder. "The staff who stood by you, housekeeping, drivers, the gardener, have been compensated. Double their salaries plus bonuses. And..." He pauses. "You've been reinstated as CEO of Hartwell Holdings." Ivy exhales, fingers brushing the folder. "I suppose it's time to take my seat at the table." Logan's chuckle fills the room. "They'll listen now." She looks around, the empty chairs, the scattered pearls, the silence where laughter once rang, and smiles. The room, once a battlefield of cruelty, is finally hers, and this time no one dares challenge her. Oh, the room breathes again. Ivy walks slowly past the empty chairs, fingers trailing the polished table where cruelty once festered. Now, only silence remains. Clean. Final. Logan appears in the doorway, his presence no longer a ghost but a man, alive, whole. He watches her, eyes searching. "You okay?" She nods. "Better than okay." A soft shuffle. The housekeeper steps, forward, hands clasped. "We're glad you're back, Ms. Ivy." Her voice cracks. "We always knew." Ivy smiles, small and warm. "Thank you for staying." The gardener, the driver, the cook, they nod, lingering at the edges of the room. Not invisible anymore, not forgotten. Logan moves beside Ivy, hand resting on her lower back. "They're the ones who mattered," he murmurs. "Not the ones who left." She exhales, leaning into him. "They'll never believe it, but I don't hate them." A pause. "I just pity them." He brushes a strand of hair from her face. "You're better than they ever were." Outside, dusk deepens. The chandelier hums, steady as a heartbeat. The scattered pearls, Carla's, now abandoned, catch the light, tiny remnants of a world that tried to crush her. Ivy bends, picks one up, rolls it between her fingers, then lets it fall. No need to carry their weight anymore. The lawyer approaches, holding the folder with the staff bonuses. "Everything's been handled," he says. "The company's waiting for you." Ivy glances at Logan. "We'll do it. Together." He nods. "Always." As they walk out, the room fades behind them, echoes of laughter, whispers, the clink of teacups now replaced by quiet. In the hallway, Ivy pauses. Turns back once. The pearls glint on the floor, lonely, forgotten. She smiles and walks on. The story ends not with vengeance, but with quiet triumph. Ivy Hartwell didn't seek revenge. She sought truth. And in the end, truth was enough. She didn't want to be right. She was right. As the doors close behind her, the weight of cruelty lifts. The world that mocked her now scrambles in the dust of its own making. The kind, those who saw her humanity, stand beside her. The rest? Forgotten. This isn't just Ivy's story. It's yours. Mine. Everyone who's ever been underestimated, dismissed, or silenced, because sometimes the loudest justice is spoken in silence. If you believe in truth, if you stand with those who rise after being broken, if you refuse to let kindness die in a world that rewards cruelty, hit like, share, subscribe. Let the world see what happens when the charity case turns out to be the queen. And remember, the ones who matter will always know who they are.